Meteorologist Robert Speta. This update, we're going to be talking about how Super Typhoon Hinnamnor and another tropical depression just towards the south of it will be impacting the Philippines. Now, I do have a separate update breaking down the details of the storm's impact on Okinawa, where it's going to be moving pretty close. So do check out the channel here at Westpacwx for that. But I do want to mention, though, we do have this other tropical depression that is east of Luzon that is drifting away. In fact, it actually kind of sucked into Hinnamnor. It's what we call the Fujiwara effect. And good news, it's actually going to pull this south of Okinawa. Bad news is, as Hinnamnor moves further towards the west, it's going to be basically almost stalling out south of Okinawa, allowing for that enhanced monsoon to really set up. By the way, big thanks for everybody on Patreon. I just want to give you guys a quick shout out, everybody that supports this channel. So let's talk about this storm. Hinnamnor now a Category 5 storm system according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. JMA has a little bit weaker, winds of 195 kilometers per hour. Weaker is relative. Look at the pressure, and with 920 hectopascals. I mean, we've seen winds reported on Daitojima, where this is passing over right now, just east of Okinawa Honto, of 174 kilometers per hour. Storm's going to be kicking off towards west, and like I mentioned, it almost stalls out south of Ishigaki and south of Miyakojima, allowing for that inflow to really start to set up, especially for parts of a Region 1, before it drifts back towards north, and then it still starts to pull in that moisture behind it, bringing those typhoon conditions, like I mentioned, for basically the worst of it, probably going to be over towards Ishigaki, Miyakojima, but still the southwest coast of Okinawa Honto. Going to be kind of raked by the storm system as we go ahead through the weekend as well. All right, let's pull back the picture. Let's take a look at what's going on further towards the south here across the Philippines. I know that's what a lot of you here are checking out this update for. With that inflow as we go ahead, really starting Thursday, Friday, but picking up over towards Saturday into Sunday. Continued showers, places like Pangasinan, Subic, Angeles, all across Region 1, Ilocos, Norte, really the mountains, towards the west of the Cagayan Valley is just going to continue to kick up, and I think some areas here could see in totals about 1 to 200 millimeters of complete precipitation as we go ahead through the weekend, heading into the early part of next week. So flood threat, very real. Not typhoon strength conditions by any means. The storm's going to be staying well offshore. If a lot of people have been asking me that, is it going to keep going southwest? Very unlikely. All the guidance just pulls it north, but doesn't mean you're going to be missing completely out on the impacts from it. So in fact, just speaking of the guidance pulling it north, you know I like my SpaghettiOs. You can see that here as it stalls out and it kicks off back towards the north, passing over the southern Japanese islands. Like I mentioned, though, all about that inflow as it continues to kick on through. So definitely a flood threat. Always want to remind you guys. So let's just take a look at some of the main points with this storm. Region 1, heavy rainfall. Yeah, La Union area, San Fernando, we're talking about Pangasinan all the way down towards Subic. Stays north, but not going to make landfall in the Philippines. That's not going to happen. Let's take a look at that forecast for Thursday, though. Cagayan de Oro, high 30. Cebu, afternoon thunderstorms still in your forecast as well. Tacloban is staying a little bit drier out there for you. And then we take a look at Manila, 29 degrees for your high. Baguio, 23, staying kind of chilly out there. High elevations, that's because of that cloud cover, and already seeing that moisture start to pick up here across your area. So, yes, it just comes with this territory. Always remember these hazards. Heavy rain, strong winds when we're talking about these tropical cyclones. It's going to be more of a problem for our friends out there in Okinawa Honto and Miyakojima. But, still, our threat still could be that rainfall. I remember 6 inches of fast-moving water can even carry away an adult. So heavy rain and, flooded roads can be scary, guys. Always be smart out there. And don't underestimate those flooded waters as well, especially even though we're not getting direct impacts. I think there's going to be some heavy rainfall advisories in place. Like I mentioned earlier, if you guys want to help out the channel, check out our Patreon. As always, thanks for watching. Of course, stay safe out there.